This evening on Nationwide, on your bike, as we take to the Great Western Greenway, the cycle route between Achill and Westport in County Mayo. The scenery is very beautiful, and there's also a blue way with marine activities and a gourmet greenway with good food to add to your enjoyment. You're welcome to Nationwide. Tá Fáilte Chuigad Lór. This evening we're coming to you from Mayo, Ireland's third largest county, and jutting proudly out into the Atlantic Ocean. Mayo has an incredibly beautiful coastline, landscape and environment, and if you're looking for an action-packed or a fun-filled or maybe even a very relaxing break, well, as the fella said, there's something for everyone here. And that's why for tonight's programme we've come to the areas of Achill, Mulranny, Newport and Westport, where we're going to be taking you along the Great Western Greenway. We'll also be taking a look at some of the other outdoor activities available here, both on land and on sea, and meeting some of the people and visiting some of the places near to and along the Greenway. Well, as you can see, I'm all geared up and kitted out for the Great Western Greenway experience. It's the longest off-road walking and cycling trail in Ireland. It runs from Westport to Achill Sound, or from Achill Sound to Westport, depending on which direction you go in. It's 42 kilometres in total, and it follows the Westport to Achill railway line, which closed in 1937. Now, I'm not alone for my cycle here. I'm in the company of Travis Zire, who owns Clube Bike Hire, which is where we got the bikes. And I think the best thing, Travis, is if we kind of cycle and talk. Will we cycle and talk?
That's the best way to do it.
Okay, yeah. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. Travis, this is an amazing amenity to have on your doorstep. How long has it been on the go now?
Well, the Greenway opened in 2010, in March of 2010, and it's that opened from Newport to Mulranny, and in June of 2011, the entire length of the Greenway, the 42 kilometres, opened from Westport to Achill Sound. It was an old steam train line, so we're very fortunate that it's a very gradual gradient throughout the 42 kilometres.
So you don't have to be Stephen Roach or his son Nicholas Roach to be able to do this?
Not at all. No, that's the beauty of it. You know, if you just sit back and watch, you can have grandfathers pulling their grandchildren in the toddler trailers, or you know, you have a few Nicholas Roaches out here as well with their lycra and enjoying the trail just as much. So
it's really for everyone, isn't it? Because you can walk it as well.
Oh, you can, of course, yeah. And because, you know, it's going through beautiful west of Ireland small towns, you stop in, and the beauty of the Greenway is it's created so much employment. I'm Canadian myself, and we have a lot of these what we call back home rails to trails. So I knew how successful they could become. So we looked at you know, the investments coming in. The government and Paul Jarrell and the County Council have put this effort into creating this amenity for the public. And I suppose we just realised that it's going to need to be serviced. When we started, we had one shop in Westport, and we started with 60 bikes for hire. We're in our 5th season. We now have 5 locations. So we have 2 in Westport and 1 in each town along the Greenway. The scenery here in the west of Ireland is stunning. It's known worldwide. The sea, the mountains, the fresh air, the whole wildness of the west of Ireland is completely stunning. The New York Times has just noted this as one of the top 3 cycle trails in the world. And it's completely free, unless of course you need to have the service of bike hire. It's all about being outdoors, enjoying the scenery, being healthy, and you know, once you get started and you're spending that quality time with your family, you're just out and you're just simply having a good time. Well, Mary.
Yes?
It's time for me to head back to work. I'll leave you here if you want to pop in and get yourself a cup of tea.
But you know, Travis, I think that is one of your better ideas. I'll go down there now. And listen, thank you so much. Really enjoyed it.
No problem at all. Thanks so much for everything, Mary. Take care.
Bye. Well now, isn't this what it's about? After a good cycle, a cup of tea and some lovely fruitcake with spectacular views over Clew Bay and Crowpatrick. And here we are at Yvonne's Traditional Cottage, which is run by Kevin and Barbara Moran. And Kevin, you know this cottage inside out. Explain why.
Well, this is where my dad was born. And my dad was one of 10 children. And I'm one of 10 children.
And you all grew up in there?
We all grew up in there, yes.
It's not huge.
No. Well, there was 13 people at one stage in this house.
Well, it's so cosy and so cute, and you've named it for your daughter Yvonne for a very special reason.
Yes. Unfortunately, I lost my daughter in a tragic car accident in 2008, and Yvonne always wanted the cottage done up. So, as soon as I got better from my injuries, I was involved as well in the accident. I decided to renovate the cottage in memory of my daughter Yvonne.
Because she was only 25 and a young guard when she was killed, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Isn't this a lovely tribute to her, though?
It is indeed. And I feel Yvonne is close to me here, like, you know.
Well, that's a nice thought. And you know, as well as Yvonne's Traditional Cottage, there are lots of places along the Greenway where you can stop and you can have a cup of tea and a bit of a chat, and also a little bit of rest and sustenance. Now, you know, this part of Mayo is renowned for its artisan food producers, and there are some of them who are part of the Gourmet Greenway, and that, I suppose, is a food trail which complements beautifully the fabulous scenery of the Great Western Greenway. And there are lots of delicious food ideas along the way. Maria Malarkey has been sampling some of them.
The Gourmet Greenway was devised by Mulranny Park Hotel in association with Mayo food producers to showcase the artisan food available in the areas of Mulranny, Newport, Westport and Achill. Dermot Madigan is General Manager. Dermot, how did the Gourmet Greenway idea come about?
Essentially, the idea came about with the arrival of the Great Western Greenway. We have traditionally been using the best of local produce for many, many years, and I guess the arrival of the Greenway gave us a platform to promote that to the visitors that come to the area.
And what was the concept behind it?
Essentially, it's a food guide trail that people can go and meet the food producers, see where the food is produced, and it really puts people in touch with the food they're eating in the restaurants at the hotel, whether it's the oyster, the pudding, the lamb. It gives them a real sense of connection with the food, and it gives them a real taste of what the Clew Bay area has to offer.
And what types of food producers are part of the Gourmet Greenway, and how many are there?
Well, it grew from 6 originally, and now it's at 18. In 2014 it grew to 18 members, and it ranges from cheese to lamb, pudding, seafood, oysters, mussels, and even this year we added on Westmayor Brewery, which gives us something to drink with the lovely food we have available in the area.
We've come to Keel on Achill Island to Keem Bay Fish Products, one of the artisan food producers on the Gourmet Greenway. Jerry Hassett is the owner, and I'm going to head to meet him. Jerry, I see you're filleting another salmon.
I am, Maria.
How did you get into the business?
I grew up in the Chalet seafood restaurant in Keel, and as a result I was just always getting fish for the restaurant, and I did a bit of fishing as a teenager, and in 1985 I set up Keem Bay Fish Products to cater for the demand, not alone at home but also in the locality. The vast majority of what we smoke is salmon. We also do some smoked mackerel and some herring or kippers in season at the end of the year. Originally, when I started the business, we used wild salmon caught here in the island waters, but unfortunately stocks dwindled and curtailment of fishing meant that we had to look elsewhere, and thankfully we were fortunate that Clare Island Sea Farm was right on our doorstep, who produced top quality organic salmon. We supply probably 70 to 80% of the hotels and restaurants in Achill. Any of the restaurants that do a seafood menu all carry our products.
How do you think being part of the Gourmet Greenway benefits your business?
The Gourmet Greenway has been a fantastic success. It has been there to show that these products and these things and all the producers are available here in the west of Ireland. Now Maria, would you like to taste some Achill Island oak smoked salmon?
I would love to, Jerry. Thank you very much. Oh wow, this is good smoked salmon. We've taken a trip now to the townland of Carrowholly, which is just outside Westport. The vast majority of artisan food producers on the Gourmet Greenway are practicing crafts that are steeped in ancient traditions, and Carrowholly cheese is no exception. Andrew Pelham-Byrne is the man behind it. How long have you been making the cheese?
Well, I've been doing it for about 15 years. There was a Dutch lady who was making Carrowholly cheese before me, and out of curiosity I went to work for her to find out how cheese was made. She then wanted to retire, so I took over, and I've been making it since, yes, the early 2000s.
What type of cheese do you make?
It's a Gouda style cheese made from raw cow's milk, that's unpasteurized cow's milk. And we do it in 5 different flavors. There's an original one, which is just the plain cheese. There's garlic and chive, nettle, cumin, pepper, and then we also have a mature cheese, which is the same as the original one, but aged for a year plus. So it's a very strong flavour.
Now, you don't sound as if you're from Carrowholly, so what brought you here?
Well, I used to come here on holidays and just loved it, and too much working in the City of London was a good excuse to give somewhere else a try. So I came over here in about '92 and loved it and haven't looked back. I probably could be doing other things and making a lot more money, but this is where my heart is, so that keeps me happy. Grass and everything like that is all reflected in the cheese.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
It's really good. Our final visit today on the Gourmet Greenway takes us to Island 80 near Westport and to the only brewery of the Gourmet Greenway experience. The West Mayo Brewery is the brainchild of Caroline and Ian Price. Caroline, how did you come up with the idea to start up a microbrewery?
Well, this actually is a farm diversification project. We have a small farm here in the west of Ireland, and as part of that we wanted to enhance the profitability of the farm. So we started looking around for something that we were both interested in, that we could provide a local product. And we were both had come home from visiting, from being elsewhere and seeing lovely craft beers in other countries and other regions of this country, and we thought, why can't we do this for ourselves here in the west of Ireland? So we set about doing the training and getting the expertise we needed to make that a reality. Our research showed us that people like a range of beers. They liked, some people like a really light beer, a pale beer, some people like a dark porter, and in between there are people who like a nice red full beer. We sell our beers just in Mayo at the moment, from Mulranny in the west and Morrisk, right across to Brickens in the other side of Claremorris. So Westport, Castlebar, Newport, Mulranny, all of the areas, all the areas that we can reach ourselves.
And obviously you have high hopes for the future for the Gourmet Greenway.
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, it's grown from 6 members to 18 members in 3 short years. And as greenways grow throughout the country and connecting to the original greenway, which is this one here in the Clew Bay area, we hope that the membership will grow and we'll have even more produce and suppliers coming on board to help us promote this area as a unique tourism destination and a unique food destination.
Cheers.
Good girl, Maria, that looks like very thirsty work. There are 18 members in total in the Gourmet Greenway, so if you come to the area you will be spoilt for choice, and I look forward to perhaps sampling some of that produce later on. Now though, we're going to take a break, but don't go away, because when we come back we will be continuing to just soak up the deliciousness of this fabulous scenery on the Great Western Greenway. We'll talk to you again in a couple of minutes. You're welcome back to Nationwide. Tá fáilte roimh ar ais chuig Cúndain Mhaigh and the scenic spots like Achill, Mulranny, Newport and Westport. We're focusing on the Great Western Greenway and all the pleasantness associated with it. The Seven Arches Viaduct, an incredibly historic landmark, signals my arrival at the picturesque port village of Newport. Once you've cycled or indeed walked the Greenway, there are lots of other outdoor activities that you can enjoy while you're in the area. And Anne Casson has been to experience one of them. It's a new marine trail called the Blue Way, which has just opened to complement the Greenway.
We're here at Keem Bay on Achill, and I've got my wetsuit ready to dip my toes into the Blue Way. The water looks as good as any beach in the Mediterranean. Laura Taylor of the Irish Underwater Council came up with the idea of the Blue Way to connect the dots between all the superb water-based activities that are available.
We purposely came to Mayo to develop the Blue Way. It's Ireland's first marine trails. We saw how successful the Greenway, and we thought the Blue Way would be a perfect complement to the Greenway. And for users coming to the area, if they want to try different sports, they can try marine trails too. Last year we tested this site, so I personally came here and sat here for 3 months and to see would people actually pay to go out snorkeling, and it was very successful. So now we have people in different locations, and it's creating employment in 3 different locations at the moment.
Today is a showcase day for people working in the local hospitality industry, so they can tell their customers what it's like out on the Blue Way.
So this is the OK. If you're OK, just give me that one back. I'm asking you OK. If you're all right.
First, it's a safety briefing from our guide, Tojo. We must snorkel in pairs, and there's a signalling system for use underwater. And then we're off into the water, backwards, so we don't trip over the flippers.
This morning, when we arrived here, the sun was shining down, and really, I felt like I could have been on a Greek island, and I'm not. I'm in Ireland, off the periphery of Europe, and it's such a beautiful country. We're lucky to have it on our doorsteps. I've had a few gulps of seawater, but I can get over that, so I'm looking forward to going and having a look at what's on the rocks now.
Down here, it's a different world. The water is crystal clear, so we can see a huge variety of marine life. Normally, we see flaccid seaweed drying out on the rocks at low tide. But here we can see it swaying gracefully in the water in all its colour. 40 years ago, this exact spot was the centre of a thriving basking shark fishery. Basking sharks are harmless and feed on plankton, which they filter through their ginormous mouths. They were hunted in Keem Bay for the high-quality oil in their livers.
We'll have to get you in.
Alan Gealty is rowing a local curragh, so our cameraman can get shots of us out here. His father Michael was one of the local basking shark fishing crews.
Everyone had their own little had a net and a crew, so up to the height of those 32 sharks caught here in one day. And then they were processed in Purchine Harbour, and then it was transported and went to Germany to be used for ladies' cosmetics.
We've got 5 different locations in the pilot programme at the moment. That's Achill Island, here where we are, Inishboffin, Killary Fjord, Manning Bay and Old Head in County Mayo. We'd like to see it being developed right around Ireland. We've got over 3,000 kilometres of seashore, so we have a huge resource out there that it's underused.
And if these types of businesses take off, then there's more of a chance that our young people will stay in their local area.
A lot of my friends, they'd be into the outdoors and the outdoor industry and that, and they just didn't, they could have developed here and maybe got a job here, but they kind of jetted off straight away. And now when I talk to them every day, they do think, wow, maybe we should come back and try something new.
Our next stop on the Blue Way is Clew Bay. There are 365 islands in the bay.
Welcome to Clew Bay Sea Kayaking. You're all very welcome.
Charlene Cronin is going to lead us on a kayak tour around a few of the islands.
Okay, we're going to be out for about 3 to 4 hours, give or take, see how we're feeling.
Today I'm joining a group of women who have already climbed Croagh Patrick, cycled the Greenway and are now using the Blue Way.
They came to us to do the Greenway and then they found out about the kayaking and yeah, they just threw themselves at it and absolutely flying it now.
The bay is teeming with kayakers, and it seems like local businesses are really eager to connect in with the Blueway idea, like the fishing charter boat skippered by Charlie O'Malley.
We do full day tours, half day tours, fishing full day, and evening trips fishing as well. You can leave Mulranny Pier after cycling to Mulranny from Westport and get on board a boat, do a little bit of fishing, come back into Westport by boat.
What's it called, the mall keeper?
Club A bike hire look after the bikes. They'll pick the bikes up from Mulranny and bring them back to Westport for you.
This is the first year for the Blueway, but it already looks like they've really caught on to something in County Mayo. And the good news is there's plenty of coastline for the idea to be replicated around Ireland.
That seemed like a lot of fun, and there are many opportunities for outdoor pursuits when you're visiting this region. Now, I've left the bike to one side and decided to walk a little bit of the Great Western Greenway. This is a particularly attractive and leafy part outside Westport. I'm going to have a chat now with Brian Quinn from Fáilte Ireland about, Brian, the economic benefits. They must be huge for the region.
Quite transformational, Mary. And so when we started out the project, we didn't really anticipate how transformational it would be. We started with a report from Sustrand from England advising Fáilte Ireland on how to develop cycling tourism, and we came up with a strategy which really was focused on developing cycle routes around Galway City, Clifton, Westport and Achill, and linking them. So the obvious link for us between Westport and Achill was the Great Western Greenway, and it really took off. I suppose we were lucky too in the time that it came, people have an interest now in cycling and sports, and really it's about families connecting, grannies and grandchildren, families, young couples connecting with each other. And huge numbers in respect of that. I suppose the real benefit for us has been the transformational arrangement we've had now with villages outside of Westport. Westport was doing well already, but now Mulranny, Newport, Achill are getting great benefits. And the downstream effects in terms of the coffee shops, the bars, and new ideas in terms of like Greenway to Seaway, where you cycle the Greenway but come back to Westport by the sea. Been fantastic, and of course now it's an added venture for us in terms of the Wild Atlantic Way. It becomes an experience on that. It's a great way for people to embrace a project because it's such a positive thing, such a healthy thing, very sustainable, etc. And everybody benefits out of it, including the farmers who gratefully gave of their land. They now have access, very enjoyable access to go and visit their neighbours, and they're using that. And it's been great for the whole area in terms of that whole spirit of adventure that we're trying to develop as a tourism product here in the west of Ireland, in terms of using the landscape and getting people to get out there and enjoy everything we have, not just the greenways, but the activities in terms of the Blueway activities we're doing now along the sea, etc. It's a great way of engaging with the countryside.
Great for Mayo.
Great for Mayo.
As you can see from the backdrop, we have arrived in Westport, the end of our journey on the Great Western Greenway. A very enjoyable one. I would highly recommend the experience. Whether you do it on foot or whether you cycle, you'll have a very, very nice time in the outdoors, fabulous scenery, and you meet very nice people along the way. If you'd like to get some more information about Club A bike hire, well, you can go to the website address that's on your screens now. Iwagwiv, agus Gadeshiv Slán. On next Wednesday's Nationwide, gardens are the stars of the show. A once derelict garden in Kinvara in Galway is now a hive of activity and variety. We visit a garden which is offering serenity to people with Alzheimer's and dementia in Dublin.
Enjoy all the crack live from the Rose of Tralee Festival tonight and tomorrow from 8 here on 1, with exclusive behind the scenes action on Live from the Red Room on the RTE player from 9.